Hey, it's Mega, aka the Art Messiah, here to save you from your art sins. Welcome back. Today we're doing an artist interview with the one and only ZayArts. This is actually my first interview, so I apologize if a little bit of it is shaky, but we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Now, ZayArts is an illustrator and a comic book artist with a huge following online, over 24,000 followers on Instagram. So look forward to what he has to say and kind of pay attention, take some notes. He's got a lot of great experience, and hopefully you guys can learn a thing or two from him. So let's jump right into it. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty swell, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Um, yeah, hanging in there. Just got
Mm-hmm.
off work, kind of rushed home to
Right.
get to this. So let's kind of dive into it and just kind of start at the beginning. And if you can just tell me a little bit about yourself and like where you're from, it's kind of stuff like that.
All right. Well, my name's okay, my real name is Isaiah Massey. Everybody knows me by ZayArts. Um, I was raised out in Atlanta, Georgia, but I was born in Roselle, New Jersey. Um, I started drawing when I was like 7 years old, and I haven't stopped drawing since. Like I haven't put the pen and pad down since. Like I've always been just like creating characters and stories and comic books and all kind of stuff like that. So that's pretty much my background. I don't know if I left anything out, but yeah.
No, that's a pretty amazing starting drawing when you're 7 is definitely really young, and I'm sure you've been able to kind of have at an edge over other people because you started so young. I think that's really awesome.
Right.
So that being said, like what kind of inspired you like so young to get into drawing and comics?
Um. Well, as far as comic books are concerned, I was introduced with comic books like at a very young age. I would say probably before 7, maybe even 5 or 6. Like my dad would take me to little comic book stores and stuff like that when I was living in New Jersey, and like he would just give me a whole bunch of comic books and stuff, and it would be all kinds. It wouldn't even be stuff like that people would know about, like of course like the big two like Marvel and DC. Nah, it would be like stuff like from Image and some other comic book companies that don't even exist anymore. So that type of stuff, I was introduced to that. But as far as like the anime and stuff is concerned, like I started getting introduced to that around like 7 or 8 years old when I was watching like maybe like Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon and Digimon and all that stuff. That's like the type of stuff that really got me into wanting to make my own like characters and comic books and stories and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's dope. That's some of my faves too.
Hmm.
Some of those that you kind of mentioned out there, and it's cool you say that because I did pick up your comic Renisha and CJ,
Okay.
and I can kind of see a little bit of blend between kind of like American like superhero comics, like the way you do backgrounds and stuff, and then also kind of like that anime and manga influence. So I
Right.
think that's really cool.
Right. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So, actually, kind of speaking about that, um, I kind of want to get people like excited about your stories and your comics and all that. So,
Hmm.
I don't know if you have anything prepared, but you don't have to have something prepared.
Hmm.
But what kind of makes your story like unique and exciting? Like, why should people pick up this book over like some other books? What
I
makes you
feel
stand
like
out?
um okay, well, as far as Renisha and CJ is concerned, I feel like that book in particular is really relatable. It's like my most relatable comic book that I've created so far, in my opinion. I feel like it's relatable because honestly, if you want to be 100% real, some of the stuff that I actually put in the book, I went through myself in high school and middle school and stuff like that. So I feel like that stuff alone will pull readers in. And then once they get that, they're like, okay, well, what happens next? And that's what comes Iron Infinity. That's like the big thing. The way I look at it, I feel like Renisha and CJ is kind of like Dragon Ball, and then Iron Infinity is more like a Dragon Ball Z type thing. If you catch my drift, like these
Yeah,
guys, the characters are gonna get superpowers. Like things are gonna get crazy, like ridiculous. So
I like that. I like
mhm,
that. I actually like stories that kind of start off not necessarily slow, but kind of just eases you into it.
right,
One of my favorites, Hunter,
right,
did that like really well. It starts out really slow. You're kind of like, okay, this is simple, and then it takes it a little bit more out the ordinary
exactly,
after the reader's like used to it.
exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's dope. That's
Hmm.
dope. Yeah, yeah, I'll definitely have to keep reading because yeah, at the end of this comic, and you have like a to be continued in like the next series,
Right, right, right.
and yeah, yeah. So
And
kind of
not,
leaving off on a
not to
cliffhanger.
hold on, not to mention, I forgot to mention my other two titles that are also connected to um, Renisha CJ and Iron Infinity. One title is called Job Just an Ordinary Guy, and that's literally the beginning of everything of this entire universe that I've created. And the
Hmm.
next story after that would be Magnor, and that is kind of like the reason why that is linked to everything else is because his story, in particular, the Magnor character, he's the villain for Iron Infinity, and he'd be like a, I want to say like a Thanos level villain, a threat, I guess you could say, in my comic book universe. So yeah, as far as Iron Infinity is concerned, it's gonna be kind of nuts.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Well, that's cool. We like combining all those different things.
right,
Now,
right.
like, so I follow you on Instagram, and I see a bunch of pictures. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't necessarily know that everything was connected.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool how you're kind of like explaining the scope of it,
Right,
especially for like the listeners out there. They'll be able to really appreciate coming to your page and knowing that all this stuff is kind of connected.
gotcha.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So next question. So to preface the next question, my channel is all about just making comics, how to make comics, and just giving people like tutorials, inspiration, and really just trying to grow that. So the next kind of set of questions is to maybe help other listeners out in the comic making process. So
Mm.
my next question is, what is your like, what's your schedule like, and what's like your process like for making comics? Do you have like, do you block off a period in the day to draw, or is it like full time? Um,
Mm.
you can just kind of speak on that a little bit.
Um, my comic making schedule is kind of weird. It's probably weirder than most artists because I take like frequent breaks. Specifically with Iron Infinity. Um, like what I've been doing with this one because I kind of wanted to rush the process of it because I kind of wanted to move into animation after this book is done. But what I'm doing is I'm working on like rough sketches of the pages, the page layouts, and then after that I would like clean them up, like to make them like I don't know, I guess easier to read. I'm sorry, my phone is going crazy right now. Let me mute it. But my bad. but
Nah, no problem.
yeah, after I will like after I do the whole cleaning process or whatever, I actually looked out to get extra help to help me ink the pages. So I actually have a somebody who's helping me out with inking the pages, and I'm paying them, a certain amount, a certain fee. I don't want to go into details. It's kind of private, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I
yeah,
can.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can.
I'm
I
paying them a
got you.
little bit so they can help me out with the inking process. So that's pretty much how I'm doing it right now. As soon as I get to a certain point, I'm going to start inking myself, and then after that, I'll start coloring, putting the letters together, and then Kickstarter, crowdfunding, all that good stuff. So it's a process.
Yeah, definitely. So you're like in the, still creating the story, and so
Yeah,
marketing is going to come later, and I
right,
definitely get that.
right.
Now, do you are you a full-time artist right now, or you also like working part-time, or
Yeah.
like full-time too, or
Okay, so I'm.
if that's not too personal, I
Oh
guess.
no, no, it's no
Yeah.
biggie, no biggie with this one. I'm a part time artist. Well, I guess you could say, yeah, I'm a full time but slash part time. I guess you could say because I have a part time job and that I work like maybe 4 to 5 hours in the mornings, and then when I get home, that I'm strictly on arts. That's all I do all day.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Okay. But yeah, so I know a lot of, especially beginner comic artists. It's like we're obviously not going to be making that much money. and for a lot of us, we're also just kind of like hobbyists.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of wanted to ask, because it's a real struggle to get a balance of work and
Hmm.
then also come home and still have that energy to, work on your hobby and work on your real passion.
Yeah, and I noticed you kept emphasizing comic book artists. I can call myself a comic book artist, but I do more than that, and that's like where the majority of my money comes from. The
Mm,
comic book stuff, that's kind of like a dream passion type thing. What
mm-hmm,
I kind of do as far as the art is concerned, well, not, I don't even say kind of do. What I do is I do commissions like freelance
mm,
stuff. So if somebody hits me up and they want me to do like design a character for them, I'll charge them a certain fee for it. If they want me to do like or a design a mixtape cover or a flyer for a party or something like that, that's where most of my money comes from. Now, um, as far as making money as a comic book artist, your best bet is just to to put your stuff out there and see what happens. You can go on certain websites to see if you can get hired on as an inker or a colorist for a different project before you start on your own. But as far as you starting on your own and making from that is pretty tough out there. But you can do it. I can't say you. I'm not going to say you can't do it, but it's pretty tough. So
yeah, and it's a little competitive too,
right,
because I feel like now a lot more people are drawing because it's pretty accessible and there's so many YouTube videos, so many tutorials.
exactly.
It's a little bit easier for people to pick up the pencil now.
Yeah, way easier.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you have any do you have any advice in terms of I guess because you're talking about like commissions and then also like websites for getting hired on as an artist. Do you have a name for like a website where people can go on and they can start doing like inking type stuff and get paid for it? Or
There's a
because I
couple.
know like,
Oh,
oh, I'm
you go
sorry, go
ahead.
ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, there's a couple places that I know of.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't really like the best. I guess you could say. It really is hot and cold if you want to be if I'm gonna be honest. Like there's one called Upwork.com and
Mm-hmm.
they have all kind of things on there. It's not just comic book stuff. You could just go in there and you have people on there asking for like t-shirts designs and um what else? I seen something on there the other day where they was looking for a map for a video game or a map for what do you call it, a board game or something like that. So it's people
Oh
all
wow.
asking for all kind of stuff on here as far as art is concerned. But another one that's directly for like comic book stuff, you can probably get better comic book related material. I mean related job offers on there. Will probably be like DeviantArt on the forums. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you're familiar with DeviantArt work.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was gonna mention before. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. I mean, other than that, I have no idea to be real.
Yeah. No, no, no. That's good. I mean, those places are definitely huge, and the people that go on there, they're sometimes looking for artists, and I've actually been commissioned from DeviantArt
Hmm.
myself, and so honestly, I understand like it's difficult. I did commission work, and it's a lot of work, and you're
Yeah.
also doing something for what someone else wants.
Right. Right.
So you always have to kind of like keep a little bit of like perspective, like, all right, I'm doing this work, but I really want to do like my own work too, and
Yeah.
finding that balance.
And ironically,
Um,
so where I hired my the person that's helping me with my inking, that's
mhm.
got it from DeviantArt. So there's people out there like me. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. That's very cool to know.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that people can get gigs from that. So, all you
Hmm.
out there, sharpen up your art skills and market yourself on DeviantArt. And speaking of which, what are some ways you kind of market your work and market your skills? You got some like favorite platforms you like to be on, or different methods you use?
I have, well, I don't, I can't even say I have a favorite platform anymore. It used to be Instagram, but Instagram is like completely changing the way they're doing things, and it's just like making things worse for my stuff in particular. So
Hmm.
like, I don't. necessarily have a favorite anymore. But if you want to like be where all the artists are, Instagram is definitely the place to be. Definitely. I mean, it used to be
Yeah,
DeviantART
that's what I've
back
been
in the day,
noticing.
but nah, it's Instagram.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Mhm.
I kind of started on my Instagram maybe 2 years ago now,
Mhm.
and yeah, I started like finding all the artists I already followed from like just like DeviantArt and just like from like back in the day, like ArtStation and stuff. I
Yeah.
like seen all those artists on there now, and I've found so many people
Mhm.
like yourself. So
Right.
yeah, if you're a beginner artist, get on Instagram and start talking to people on Instagram. Start posting your work.
That's the best thing to do.
Um, is there any other tips, kind of like getting the word out for your work? Do
Um,
you do like conventions or
well, as far as conventions concerned, I really haven't done too many in the past 2 years. But ironically, this year I'm going to start back. I just got accepted to MomoCon. So I'm waiting for them to send me the email so I can pay for the table. But I got accepted to that, and I applied to go to. Well, by the way, these conventions are in Atlanta, Georgia. That's where I'm located. But I applied to AWA. It's another one out here. So I'm waiting to see if they're gonna accept me as well. But I'm gonna see if I get out of the state as well. 'Cause I definitely need to show my face out there too. But that's about it as far as conventions is concerned. As far as like getting your face out there on Instagram, I can't stress this enough. A lot of artists feel like they're so like in competition with everybody and they don't want to like collaborate with everybody else or anybody else. And I just feel like that whole type of energy is weird. Like if you're trying to get out there, get your face out there, get like you know what I mean? You probably need to really start collaborating and get in contact with people with the artists
Mhm.
that you feel are dope. You feel me? So I don't understand that. That's one thing that I've noticed as long as I've been doing this. Like a lot of artists out here just feel like it's a solo thing. Like it's me on top of the world and nobody else can be on top of me. And I feel like there's a lot of spots out here. Everybody can eat. You feel me? So I don't know. That's just how I feel. I don't know about everybody else, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes I kind of fall into that trap too, where it's like, oh, you're always comparing yourself to like other artists,
I
and
mean,
so
don't get
you
me wrong.
don't.
Comparing yourself to other artists is cool, but don't
Yeah,
be like, oh, that guy's doing this. Let me do this. Let me top him. Let me see if I could beat him. Like, nah, bro. Like, it's not even that serious. Like, everybody can eat. It's really not that serious. The spotlight is so large, people don't realize that. Like, the internet is humongous. Like, anybody could get popping out here. So that's like one thing that just really like ticks me off with a lot of people. And it's not just I don't even feel like it's the art that just artists. It's just like the entertainment industry in period. Like a lot of people are like that. So I don't know.
yeah. No, I 100% agree there.
Hmm.
Um, And yeah, if people kind of change their mindset instead of saying like, "Oh, this is my competition, I'm going to compare myself," they say like, "Hey, like what can I learn from this other person?" Cuz generally people are pretty nice and they will teach you a few things if you
Exactly.
ask nicely. And you can really upgrade your art really quickly
Yep.
if you stop just competing, comparing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like even with me, like
that's all.
I'm not even gonna lie. I have this thing where it's kind of like an art circle type thing where I gathered a couple people that I realized that's been hanging around, been digging my work, and I feel like their work is dope as well. They've been hanging around for the past 2 to 3 years, and I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna just make a little like a group chat thing. We all just talk. We all get in there every day. We just talk, 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 and it's people from all ages. Like there's some guys in there that's like 40 years old. I have some chick in there. She's like 15 years old, but she's amazing. Like I ain't never seen a 15-year-old draw like the way she draws. So it's like if you just really like reach out to people, things can happen for you. Like I don't understand people just be shy. Like I don't understand why people have art pages, but their art
Yeah.
pages are on private. Like okay, how are you going to be an art page, but you're not trying to show your work off? Like that makes no sense. You might as well just have a folder of your art and keep it in your closet for all I care. You know what I'm saying? Like it's stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know.
I get that. I get that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, so being putting yourself out there is you have to get a little bit over like being shy, and you know what, that's what I'm trying to create for myself a little bit like now too. I didn't
Right.
really grow up with a bunch of people that were like super into drawing, so now
Okay.
I'm getting over that like myself, like
Yeah.
instead of like being in your own little box. It's like there's so many artists out there,
Right. Right.
like we were discussing earlier. There's so many different forums and websites now. It's not like back in the day where you had to go to a convention to meet people.
Exactly. Not to say that's
So,
not still a thing, because that still is a thing. Go
oh
into a
yeah,
community.
yeah, yeah.
That's a thing for sure.
Yeah, definitely still a thing. So this actually kind of segues into the next question. A lot of beginner artists, they constantly just look and say like, how can I get recognized? And they will like watch YouTube videos like how to get followers fast and like all that kind of stuff. How did you like stay motivated and maybe kind of go back into memory lane when you were just like a beginner artist? What kept you motivated when you're just starting out?
I feel like what kept me motivated, um, the best way to explain this is time. Like I said before, like I started drawing when I was 7 years old. So, say for instance, if I wasn't me and I started drawing when I was 20 or something like that. Mind you, I'm 30 years old right now. If I started drawing when I was 30 and I realized, like, dang, man, like, I've been doing this for 4 years and there's nothing popping off for me, I'm done. Like, nah, man, I've been doing this for way longer than 4 years for me to say I'm not doing this no more. So I feel like it all comes with time. Like, if you're mature in a game, then you're gonna keep being consistent with it. Because a lot of people just they just want to wake up one day and say, "Yo, I want to be able to draw," and they think they could be the next Michelangelo or whatever like that the next day. Like, nah, that's not how it works at all. So
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. That's really cool that you kind of like it's a little bit of like a time investment, and like as the time goes on, you get more and
exactly,
more invested.
exactly.
That's dope. That's dope. I
Hmm.
like it. Um, so what do you love about drawing and like the drawing process? Do you like the end result, or do you like actually like the process of going through creating the work? What's like your favorite thing?
It's a little bit of both. Um, the end result is really cool too, because some of the times, like I like going back like 3 to 4 years and then like looking at some of the images I've created, and then I like would redraw them now and I see the process and I'm like, man, like the final result is like completely different. Like it's crazy. And I do that every time to remind myself to that's another thing that goes back to what the last question you asked. That's another thing I do to remind myself of how far I came and how far I need to go. So if I keep doing that, then I'll just, keep going. It's a consistent thing. Like a lot of people don't like being consistent, and that's a problem.
Yeah, I like that. I like looking back at like old drawings and
Hmm.
seeing that improvement, and it gives you a sense of accomplishment and a sense of like you're on an incredible journey.
Exactly.
That's really awesome. So, what are your next steps? Like, what are your future goals? Maybe like one short term, one long term, or however many you have, but at least one short term, one long term goal for you.
A short term goal is to learn animation, the principles of it,
Nice.
and to actually do something with it, like for real. Like maybe some like small like GIF images of my characters, and then like post them on Instagram and maybe TikTok if it's still around. Who knows? But a long term goal would be to like actually develop a cartoon series that will go coincide with what I have in my head. As far as like all my characters and the universe I created in my head. So I guess that would be a long term goal.
Okay. I really like both of those goals because they're kind of similar to mine. But
Mhm.
I want to explain mine because this is not an interview for me. But that I think that's really cool that you have these future goals because this gives you something to work towards.
Right, right.
and that can keep you motivated as well.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're gonna kind of start wrapping it up. So, I want you to give your best piece of advice for beginning artists and comic artists as well. What's your best piece of advice for people starting out?
The best piece of advice I can give is to, it might sound mad cliche, but I'm serious. Don't give up. Like just keep drawing. If you have an idea, keep drawing that junk every day till that idea becomes so clear in your head that people start to like it and they want to pay you for it. But you know what I mean? Like that's like the best I that's the best advice I could give. Like just keep drawing. The boy C Night Art on Instagram has a t-shirt clothing line called, I think it's called Keep Drawing, I believe.
Oh yeah,
Literally
I've seen
the
that.
same exact thing. Like, yo, just keep drawing. That's the best way to get better at your craft. So,
Right, I'm gonna need to get one of those shirts to remind me
mhm,
every time I look in the mirror.
right,
Keep drawing. Yeah, that's so critical.
most definitely.
Um, yeah, even when you're like down as an artist and then you're like, oh, my work isn't that great. Sometimes you just have to have kind of that vision that I got to keep working at this until what's in my mind comes out on paper correctly.
hmm I think they call it like with a art block or whatever. And when I say the best advice for that is just like move away from the. That's when you don't need to draw anymore. When you have an art block, just move away from the pen and the pad or the tablet or whatever drawing utensils you're using, and just go play some video games, go watch some movies, go read some comic books, get re-inspired. That's the best way to get over any type of art block. Like I do that all the time, and each time I do it, like I definitely notice like improvement in my artwork each time I do it. So,
Yeah, that's powerful.
hmm
All right, cool. All right, well, we're gonna jump into the lightning round. There's gonna be a series just of like a couple questions and just gonna be fast responses. Yeah, like they're quick questions.
gotcha.
So are you ready?
hmm
All right, awesome. Okay, so number one, what is your favorite music genre?
Rap.
All right, what is your favorite cartoon anime or slash anime?
Sheesh, that's a hard one. Mm.
You can't
Oh
think.
God. Can I give like a few?
Sure,
All
sure.
right, so like I've been like watching some old anime recently, so I really like Goldenar or Godinar. I like Blue Sea,
Okay.
um, and of course Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff. Yeah, I mentioned that. That's most where my art is inspired from. So yeah, those types.
All right. What about your favorite web comic?
Favorite web comic? Sheesh. Renisha
It's
and
it's
CJ. Nah, oh, shit.
Most
I haven't really.
controversial.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I haven't really read too many. There's this one artist called It's on. I think the comic is called Power Note or something like that. It's really dope. You got to go on what is that website? Webtoon to go check it out. It's really cool.
Okay, yeah, I'm knowing that down.
hmm
What about your favorite food?
Pizza.
All right, but favorite undiscovered artist or an artist that you don't think many people know about.
Um, I have two. There's one guy. Well, he had a page, but a lot of people knew about him. But I want to shout him out anyway because he had a page and it got deleted or whatever. So it was his username was Animator JG. I'm not sure if you heard of
Okay.
his previous name was artist.jg or something like that. But
Oh, I
that's
haven't
one.
heard of him.
And another one, he reminds me a lot of myself. His name is Art of it's like ARTOFTDJ or something like that. So
Oh, I think I've heard of that.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I heard of him.
right. So those two for sure. They're really dope.
All right, cool. And then last but not least, what is your favorite YouTuber?
Favorite YouTuber? Sheesh. I don't have a favorite. Do I have a favorite YouTuber? Oh shit.
Yeah, you can just name me. It's
I'm
fine.
sorry, damn. At first, I wouldn't. All right. Well, I have a favorite channel, the Joe Budden podcast. I mean, I listen to
Oh
that.
yeah, no, that counts. Yeah,
Yeah.
that counts. Yeah, I like listening to stuff too.
Hmm.
Actually, kind of got the idea to do these from him. I was like, I like how he interviews.
Got you. That's dope.
Okay, well, that's the end of the lightning round. Let's wrap it up. Where can people find you online? Give them your handles,
All
and
right.
then if there's any last piece or a piece of advice or something you'd want to talk about, feel free to share it.
Um, People can find my website and my, I mean, I'm sorry, people can find my content on my website. It's mindlessdesigns.com. That's where you'll be able to look at previews of the comics that I offer, and that's where you can go to my store. You can get like stickers, all kind of stuff like that. You can get the about of my universe, all that good stuff. Just go to mindlessdesigns.com for that. As far as my social media is concerned, you could go to my Instagram is called is ZayArts21. The website, I mean the Instagram for the comic website is Mindless Designs Comics, and then also have a YouTube. It's ZayMM10, and I think that's it. Oh wait, Twitter ZayArts21, and that's it.
All right, cool. All right, well, guys, go check them out at those links and websites. I'm gonna try to post as many as I can down
It's a lot.
below. I'll put the main ones. I'm definitely gonna put the website and maybe like Instagram, a few other ones I can link out to
Right,
for you. But thanks so much for interviewing with me. I really appreciate it. It was really dope talking to you.
for sure, man, for sure.
All right, awesome. So until next time, guys, just leave a comment in the comment section down below who would like to see next. And yeah, hopefully you guys got some information, some knowledge to help you work on your own comics. And until next video, I'll see you guys later.